What's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another DC Collectibles action figure review set on the DC Icon Superman vs. Doomsday 2-pack. I gotta give a big thanks to DC Collectibles for sending this figure set my way. If you want to see the latest from them, be sure to check the link in the description below. And then we get some very nice packaging. I like this window box right over here, looking pretty cool so far. On the side it says 29 DC Icons Superman vs. Doomsday from Death of Superman. Now on the very back you can see some product shots over there. Then on this side there's not much going on. I love the bloody Superman logo right over there, not much at the bottom. Then you can lift this sleeve up right over here, and then you can see some battle damaged Metropolis right underneath there, looking pretty cool. And it doesn't really change much on the back at all. So anyway, let's get, oh yeah, and of course you get the Superman cape right there. That's very iconic. I mean, I still have my Death of Superman issue, but anyway, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Superman and Doomsday out of the packaging. And I gotta say, I have been having fun with these figures. They're fun to take photos of and pose around. There are some things that do frustrate me though. I mean, you could just tell right off the bat that the Doomsday feet are not flush to the ground, so that's one aspect that I'm not too happy with. But I do like the accessories, and we do get a very cool base. So let's get a closer look at that base, and then we'll get a closer look at the accessories. So here's looking at the base, and oh man, isn't that sick? Just seeing the cape right over here all tattered on that stick, that's just so iconic. You know, it takes me way back many years ago, and I just think this is awesome. I really dig it a lot. I mean, just getting a closer look really quick at this, I just love how they sculpted this. The paint apps came out really clean. Of course, you could detach it from the base, as you just saw me do, and the paint apps on this base look fantastic as well. Nice color variation in here in the creases. I really dig that a lot. We have all these ports throughout, so you could plug in different rock pieces. So you get a bunch of different pieces of rock, and then these pegs that you could port into the bottom of them, and you could just add stuff to it like that, you know. And I think that's kind of neat, you know. It's pretty cool. Not my favorite thing about it, but still, I think it's pretty awesome. You can change it around the way you'd like, and all of them are detailed out very nicely. This peg right over here kind of got stuck. Well, not really, but you can go ahead and just add this one. Now, it doesn't seem like you can add every single piece to it at the same time. I don't know. I don't like the idea of having to try to figure out exactly where everything's supposed to fit so that it's all, you know, perfectly snug, but I do like the ability to arrange these in different kind of ways. Then we also get this whole, this clear display stand right over here for some cutouts, which I'd never ever seen before. But regardless, I like having these, so this is pretty cool. I like that we get this hard stock paper right over here, so it's nice and firm. It's not cut all the way around so that it's empty or anything, but still looks pretty good. You get this little slit right over here on the very top of this side of the stand, and then on the bottom you can just go ahead and plug this in wherever you would like on the base. I'm going to take this rock out over here and just plug that in right there, so you get that Doom, and then you could go ahead and take that off, and we get this other one. And then you can just plug that in right in the very middle. But damn! Is that what Superman says when he looks at Lois Lane? But damn! So here's looking at the Doomsday head sculpt, and I like it. I really like the details and the paint apps on this. As I darken things up, you can see maybe a little better, but I really like how all these little crusted parts right over here are these crests. I don't know exactly what to call it. It looks like bone, right? But I love the paint on it. You can see that darker beige over the white. Really dig that a lot. You can see his red eyes underneath right over here, all busted up. Mouth looks great. I love the hair. We get nice color variation in the hair. Really digging that a lot. A little splotchage right over there on his back, but not that big of a deal. Really good looking head sculpt. And I really like the musculature and the way the whole body came out over here. Looks like a very like rocky kind of guy, you know, like the skin is extremely tough. You can see some nice veins over here. And then you can see some more of that paint detail. And be warned, some of these parts right here are very pointy. So you could feel that it's pretty sharp. Oh, this one's not so bad, but this one's a little bit sharper. So it's not too shabby at all. And there's looking at the back, no real color variation. And you can see some nice silver bits right over here in the pants. Looking pretty nice from his cryo suit. Nice green color right here. No color variation, but we get some nice wrinkles. Nice silver added right there on the thighs. The legs look great. I like how the boots came out right over here too. So yeah, not bad looking at all as far as the sculpt goes. I really dig these pieces right here, all the bony parts right there. Look great. And then looking at the boots right there, we get some treads. So we had some cool things going on with the articulation on this guy, but some frustrations as well. As far as head movement goes, you can't rotate his head side to side, and the hair can be very pointy, so be careful with that. It's a little stabby. You do get some head pivot in here though as well, and he will look down a bit and not really up at all because the hair is in the way. The shoulders can rotate 180, right, or 360, sorry, hashtag dad brain. You can move the shoulders outward just that far, and then you can move them down this much. We get a bicep swivel right over here. We get rotation at the elbow. Barely get an elbow bend. That's extremely frustrating for me. I really wish we had much more of an elbow bend right over there. Then the wrists all swivel side to side and they hinge up and down. Same thing with the open hands. And then we get a diaphragm joint that turns side to side very well. We get some diaphragm pivot over here, and he crunches forward a bit at the diaphragm and back some. We also get a waist crunch right there, and he'll move with both joints all together just that much more forward. That waist crunch is not really allowing a whole ton of movement forward, more so than the diaphragm joint, but both of them together will go forward that much, and then they'll both together go back that far. Then the hip joints are very wobbly on this guy. As you can see, they're kind of moving around just a little bit, so it's a bit loose. We get this hinge that moves up and down right here on both sides, so you can get the legs outward that far, and then you can get them kicking forward very far and back quite a bit. I love that they added the thigh rotation, which I think has been sorely needed in the Icons line, so I'm glad that they added that. We get the double jointed knees, but you can only really get them moved in that far, which actually isn't too terrible. And you also get ankles that barely move down, and they barely move up, and the ankle pivot is just, it's just not really there, man. I feel like I'm going to break it if I keep pushing it more than that, but yeah, you can see it'll bend in that far for an ankle pivot. I mean, at least it's there, but it could have been done better. Then for Superman, we get these two interchangeable heads, and then we get his laser beam effect over here, as well as this punching effect, which is awesome. Which really reminds me of SH Figuarts. I really dig this a lot. Very nice paint apps on here. I like how it fades into white as you get closer to the middle, so that's very cool. I dig that a lot. And it does fit fairly well into his fist, so you just add his fist into it right over here, so you want him punching through it. Yeah, you just have to find the right shape, and there you go. So you can see how it goes into the fist, and that's pretty solid. That works out pretty well. Then we have the blast right over here for the eyes, and attaching it to his eyes can be a little finicky, and by the way, I really like this a lot. I like how you can see some variation in color right over here. You know, you can see the little waves. I think that's pretty sweet. Yeah, nice spikes at the end of it and everything. But anyway, you just want to make sure that you have it on the right side, and it doesn't really plug into his eyes as well as I'd like him to. I mean, it'll stay there. Yeah, I mean, you could put it there, but yeah, if you shake it around, it will fall off. And I know some of you are screaming blasphemy, but I have to just see if this would work, and no. Yeah, not compatible with the Marvel Legends Cyclops at all. So here's looking at the first of the two head sculpts, and man, I love that screaming face. I like how the eyes came out. I like this little detail right here with this welt on the top left side of his forehead. And we have the gashes right over there on the right side of his face, as well as some nice soft red paint coming on right over here. Nice hair sculpt on this as well. I really dig that. And of course, pop it off, and we could go ahead and put the very dead Superman face on here. And that is just a little bit creepy, man. I mean, it's kind of sad, isn't it? I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny because it's so realistic looking. But they did a great job on this. Again, you can see that welt right over there. You get another shiner right over there. And then more blood coming out of those gashes. That looks fantastic. Kind of creepy, but awesome. And then looking at the rest of the figure, I like how they have the deco of the hair on the chest and everything. His shirt's all torn up. Get some blood added right over there. I guess he could have more blood on him, but anyway, you get the hairy arms. Not looking too bad. I like the flesh tone. I wish there was color variation, but the sculpt really holds up pretty well, so you know, I'm not too bummed out about it. Then looking at the lower half of the figure, doesn't look too shabby. We get some more blood right over there on the thigh. Really dig that. Nice musculature. A little bit of marbling in the plastic, but the boots look pretty solid. He has a one peg hole on the right side. Now the Superman articulation is what you'd expect from a DC Icons figure. You can get his head moving up just a tiny bit. He will move his head a lot further downward. You get side to side movement, of course, and we get some head pivot, and of course that articulation is the same for both of these heads. Shoulder joints move outward that far. You can move them down all the way. You get 360. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows that don't bend in more than that. You know, it's not horrible, but I wish they could bend in more, especially with having double jointed elbows. You get a wrist swivel, hinges up and down. We get the diaphragm joint that turns side to side. You'll crunch it just a little bit forward at the diaphragm, and yeah, a little bit back some. It's pretty stiff over there. But we also get the waist crunching that, you know, I guess with both joints together, you'll only move forward that much, which is not as much as I'd like to see. And with both joints going back. Yeah, that's alright. And the hinges right over here at the hips still move up and down and get his legs outward pretty far, and he does have a bit wobbly legs right here too. You know, you can see it moving just a little bit. He can kick forward quite a bit and back. No upper thigh cut, but it will shift left and right just a little bit right there. We get good double jointed knees, and the ankles do move down, they do move up, and he does have ankle pivot. Now to measure out the Doomsday and Superman figures, you can see that Doomsday is standing at about 7.5 inches tall. Superman just a little over 6.5. Then for your DC Icon Superman comparison, we have the first Icon Superman, and then we have the Justice League Rebirth Superman right over there. And you can see this guy stands right in between these two as far as height goes, just a little bit taller than that guy, a little bit shorter than this one. And I did try swapping the dead Superman face on one of these, and it does not work out. I just couldn't pull off a head swap. Then for your Superman and Doomsday figure comparison, we have the icons in the middle right over here, and then we have the Mattel's Dark Knight Returns Superman, and then we have Mattel's Doomsday right there. And yeah, you can see how much larger these two figures are. And man, I gotta say, I've been geeking out off of Superman hardcore since watching Justice League. If you haven't seen Justice League, go watch the movie. And then comparing these two figures to your average 6-inch scale figure, here they are next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. And you can see how much smaller they are than the Spider-Man figure over here. I'm really looking forward to the DC Essentials line. I think that's going to be the line we've really been looking forward to for the 6-inch scale. So you can see with my complaints and all, I'm still able to have fun posing these figures around. I do think they look really good, but yeah, there are some shortcomings. I did use the stand that's for the cutouts. I just, you know, snuck it into one of the crotch pits over there on Superman. I really do wish that they had a clip or something that you could attach to the Superman and that clear stand right over there. That would have been pretty nice to have, but you know, man, it's still pretty cool to have this. I'm very stoked having it. At the same time, there's things that I wish they could have done better, especially articulation wise, but seeing these effects and everything and being able to pose these figures around together like this is pretty fun. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think of these two figures, let me know what you think of the review. If you want to see more ShartimusPrime videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell as well so you know immediately when my next ShartimusPrime video is posted. Gotta give a big thank you to all these people over here for supporting this YouTube channel. If you're interested in the ShartimusPrime perks, please check out Patreon down below. I've been posting there a little bit more frequently, you know, a little behind the scenes action here and there. Anyway, if you want to see a photo gallery of images, it'll be over at toynewseye.com, and you can follow me on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links all in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace! I'm gonna play with my toys today. 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 Well, I don't care what the strangers say. I'm gonna play with my toys today.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.